This is Melanie Ward. Welcome to the Yoga of Business and Life and for the WIN Network. Today's show is going to be about how we Mysore our lives. I don't know if you've ever heard that term before. Mysore, that actually turned it into a verb. Mysore is named from a town in Italy, but India. But it's also a style of practice, of yoga practice. And what generally happens in a Mysore class is that you show up to class, but it's not led. There's an instructor there, but you kind of go through the poses on your own. It's a sequence in Ashtanga. You go through the entire sequence on your own, at your own pace, basically going with each flow, with each breath. Well, the first time I had gone into a Mysore style class, I had probably been practicing for a couple of years. Very, very religious, home practice, hours a day, that kind of thing. Well, so I get to the class and I start my practice. And I got about maybe halfway, 3/4 of the way full. And I stopped, and there was a pose that I didn't like, so I didn't do it. And my teacher walked up to me as soon as I had finished that and sort of moved on to the next pose, and she said, you're done for the day. And I said, no, I'm not done for the day, I'm still going. So I got really frustrated, and I wanted to keep going, right? But I couldn't, because that was the rule. So she told me, she said, what the deal is when you go to Mysore and you're practicing, you go to the point that you cannot go anymore, meaning you cannot do the next pose. So you get to the point where you get stuck, you practice the pose, and then you're done for the day. You come back the next day and you try to keep getting past it. Well, this just drove me crazy, because I've been practicing forever. So naturally, the thing that was going on in my head was, you should be further along, right? You should be further along now because you've done this. So naturally, I went home and I practiced that pose. I practiced it over and over and over again. Got up the next day, got to class, went through the pose fine, and then went through the rest of the class, and everything was great. But I learned something really valuable, and it was that I thought that I was getting away with something. I thought that by picking and choosing the poses that I wanted to do when I was at home, that it was okay. But I was really quite trying to get out of doing the hard thing, the thing that was uncomfortable, the thing that I didn't like. And so it was great. It was a really important lesson, and I actually realized, I think I probably knew it, but this was just a great metaphor for me to realize that there's a lesson to be learned, whether you're on the mat or off the mat. Yoga is such a great metaphor for life. There's a lesson in every single solitary thing that we're doing. And if we try to bypass the lesson because we're trying to not feel hurt or feel sad or feel pain or feel any of those things, and just create something that's going to take that away and feel good, like I was doing by just skipping it on or doing a pose that I liked, I was missing it. I was really kind of missing the point. I wasn't experiencing it all. And so the key is to make sure that you're including all of those things in your life. Now, when it comes to our life, our business, all of those things, the term I think of it now is, do you Mysore your life? Do you, when you get stuck, do you pay attention to that stuckness and not let yourself go past it when you're not ready? So that's today's show. I hope that the next time something comes in your way, whether it's a physical activity or something in your business or a relationship, that you realize that you shouldn't be further along. You're actually exactly where you're supposed to be, and whatever that lesson is, it's deciding to show up. It's asking you to pay attention to it. So pay attention to it, and you'll be grateful for it. And whether you like the pose or not is really not important. It's part of what's showing up for you. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time on the Yoga of Business and Life.